Welcome to Meditation with Dana St. Clair. Okay, so this time I'm going to kind of jump on one of my soapboxes. As I'm recording this show, we're a week or two after the shootings at the high school in Springfield, Oregon. And I've got to say that for the last 10 or 20 years, I have said we are raising a generation of sociopaths. And the shootings that have occurred at the different high schools over these last several months are unfortunately proving me to be right. This wasn't anything I necessarily wanted to be right about. But what I have seen over these last 20 years that has caused me to say we are raising a generation of sociopaths is really two factors. One, human children need at least one consistent human adult with them the majority of the time. This does not have to be the mother. It can be the dad, it can be a grandmother, it can be some caring, compassionate, consistent person. Because we as humans learn so much. We bond with the adult humans in our lives. And you know, it seemed for a while there people were kind of poo-pooing bonding. Oh, what's this bonding thing? You know, we may not understand it. It may not be something that we can intellectualize. But it is also certainly something that we cannot ignore. And we, as human children, we learn everything from the adults around us, and when we are valued as children, we value others. When we truly feel cared for, and what is a consistent presence? But a consistent presence that indicates, that says, I really care about you, I care enough about you to be here with you. It's the sense of valuing the life of another person, valuing yourself. I have felt for years that actively valuing your children is the greatest gift that you can give them. Let them know how very much you love them and how cool it is to share life with them. What a blessing to have this other human being, your child, in your life. There is a second factor with this generation of sociopaths, and that is the violence that we see on television, in the movies, in video games, just inundated. And the young mind, particularly pre-6 years old, but I would say even pre-teenage, the young mind has a very different filter system than the adult mind. And there isn't a lot of filtering that young children do. When they see this violence, they think, oh, that's the way you do it. Oh, that's how you're supposed to respond. And then, without much filtering at all, because we are so visual, we are such visual animals, we see this violence, and it goes right into the child's possible solutions file. Oh, so that's the way you handle that. You get angry, you just fly off. You yell and scream, you cry, you shoot people. Our children are watching us all the time. All the time. And you just can't tell me that all of the violence that has been so prevalent in the movies and on TV hasn't had its effect in the consciousness of a whole generation of children. And then when you take into account the video games, where you are actually given the kinetic experience, that hands-on opportunity to be the shooter. Cool. I am not against video games. My son learned to drive a car on a video game. He'd been driving on these video games for a few years and got behind the wheel of a car, knew what to do, because he learned doing video games. But that's how you learn about shooting, too. So these are just, factors to consider. And it is important to realize the significance of just hanging out with children. You don't have to do fabulous, intellectual, mind-expanding, culturally stimulating things like all the time. Jammy days are great. You hang around in your jammies, you watch TV, maybe you make French toast or cookies. Kids love that. When my kids were growing up, that was like number one thing. Let's have a jammy day. And we would all sit around in our jammies. And the thing is, the adult consciousness, excuse me, the adult consciousness gets so into, I've got to do this, and I've got to do this, and I have to do this, and truly, there is an avalanche of detail that makes up every life. And yet, to make the child feel that your job is more important than they are, or your hobby, or your meetings, what is really more important? And the people who can really understand this are people who have lost children. I saw a very brief, changing channels, very brief little thing with Cher about her relationship with Sonny. And she said, he was just the person that I could kind of pick on, that I could do that all to, that I could just kind of go, but then when he was gone, when he was dead, she had a totally different, wait a minute. She had lost that person in her life, and she realized, well, that wasn't necessarily her best use of having Sonny Bono in her life. She could have related to him differently. But a lot of times we don't see that till after the fact, not till after something's done. Treat your children as if today could possibly be the last day you'll spend together. Don't make them guess if you love them. Or any of the things as you think back about your own childhood and what you would have liked from your parents. Give it to your children. Be the parent to your child that you wish your parent had been to you. When I was a child, a voice in my head every now and then would say, remember what this feels like. Remember what this feels like. And that's how I raised my kids, remembering what it felt like to be a kid and the things that were important. Because, hey, different things are important to adults than are important to children. But that doesn't mean that the children's special things aren't just as significant. Allow yourself to just, walk down a sidewalk with a 2-year-old at the 2-year-old's pace. Looking at the different little moldy leaves or the little critters crawling around. It may take you a half an hour to go 1 block. So, probably you would have had a really good time. A really good time. It's fascinating to me. It seems like the major difference between adult consciousness and child consciousness is an awareness of consequences. Some adults are almost hogtied, are so tied up by their fear of consequence. And children just kind of crash through life because they don't have that sense of consequence unless it is instilled upon them. And some people go way overboard. Well, now I would like to invite you to meditate with me and to enjoy several moments of centering into yourself, centering into a quiet place, and feeling the sense of bonding with your greater self. Because your greater self is present all the time. All the time. The way that I have come to understand it, the place in you that identifies as I, the place in you that thinks your thoughts and feels your emotions and does your work, that center of you is consciousness. And that center of you is what we perceive to be as the greater awareness, spirit, source, God, consciousness. If you took a body that the consciousness had left, and you gave that body all the pure water and the good food and the fresh air that should keep any body healthy, without the consciousness present in this form, the body simply decays, no matter what great care you might give it after the fact. So let us go into meditation. And you can either close your eyes and join me in the meditation, or you can keep your eyes open, because we do have lovely visuals that we like to share with you during the meditation if you choose not to close your eyes. Now, there's no judgment here. Closing your eyes makes you a better meditator. It's different. You will have a different experience of meditation with your eyes closed than you will with them open. So your choice. But I do encourage you to get comfortable. I don't encourage you to lay down, because the old physical body, lots of times when it's horizontal, it's well dozed. It's just gone. So I do encourage you to sit up, possibly with some back support, and be comfortable physically as we go into the meditation. Allow the tones of the gongs to simply wash through you. Focus your attention in the very center of your heart. And be aware of your breath. Inhale slowly, deeply. Exhale slowly, releasing completely. And allow slow, mindful breath to bring a sense of peace, of calm, a sense of settling, relaxing, letting go. And recognize yourself to be a physical, emotional, mental instrument for your spiritual self. Feel a warm, soothing, golden light pouring in through the top of your head. And let the soothing, golden warmth pour into your emotional self. Bringing with it a sense of calm, a relaxing warmth, a deep and quiet peace. And let that golden light move into your mental self, into your thoughts, into your perceptions, your interpretations, your ideas and insights. Recognize this golden light as a loving gift from your greater self. And feel it given as a gift, an acknowledgement of who you are as you are. Feel how your greater self accepts you totally and rejoices in the person that you are right now in your life. In the eye of your mind, visualize yourself coming into contact with the person that you are becoming, with your future self. And consciously, willingly open yourself to your future self. And in the eye of your mind, see your future self looking at you with such love, such understanding and compassion. Your future self knows the choices, the decisions that you are making in your life right now. And your future self knows the steps that you are about to take along your path. Consciously draw this acknowledgement, this acceptance, this guidance into the very core of your being, into the very depths of your sense of self. Sense yourself as one who feels guided, blessed, acknowledged. For it is through truly accepting yourself that you can truly accept others. Feel how a place deep in you relaxes and lets go as this feeling of acceptance, of acknowledgement, compassion moves through you. Allow the very core of your being to be touched, to be enlivened, to feel whole through this connection with your greater self and with the person you are becoming. I will sound the gongs, drawing the meditation to a close. When it is comfortable for you, you may open your eyes. You know, James Taylor has this wonderful song, and the refrain in the song goes, "Shower the people you love with love. Show them how much you care." So many adults feel that as children they never knew, they never heard that their parents loved them. Well, don't continue to be one of those adults yourself. Tell your children how much you love them. Tell your parents, your partner, how much you love them. Be kind. Be kind to the people that you interact with. You know, the shopping market clerk, the gas station attendant, the bank teller. I have heard that the Dalai Lama says, "My religion is kindness." And I suppose if I were to say that I have a religion, I would have to say that that's mine as well. If people were raised, if every child was raised with acceptance, with love, with acknowledgement, this world would be transformed. This world would be a different place. And where this transformation occurs is with each of us, is with you. And as you are more accepting of yourself, you will be more accepting of others. As you are more tolerant with yourself, you will be more tolerant, more understanding, more compassionate with others. You know, 20 years ago or so, somebody came up with the label, the me generation. And I think in some cases that misses the point, because I know for many, many people who have gone into their own personal exploration, which could be considered a very me thing, what really comes out of it is an understanding, a compassion, a participation with others and with life that is far more positive, productive. You become a blessing. You become someone who touches other people's lives in a positive way. You give what you would like to receive. And lo and behold, it comes back to you. It may come back to you in a different way than you're anticipating, something different than what you're looking for, but it does come back. There is grace. There is kindness. And one of the ways that you experience more in your life of this grace, this compassion and kindness, is by expressing. You get what you give. And it's interesting too not to always give expecting return, or that sense that says, well, I'm not going to call her because I called her last time and she hasn't, she has never called me. Or, like with letter writing, well, I'm not going to write to her because she doesn't write to me. Go ahead. Go ahead, reach out. Do it. Touch the other lives in your life with compassion, with understanding. It doesn't always have to be about you. It doesn't always have to be, what am I getting out of this? Perhaps it can be, what can I give here? How can I best serve? Because truly, a wealth, a richness that comes into your life as you are extending yourself to others. That is where the blessing lies. As you wake up in the morning, the first few minutes as you're laying in bed, as you go to sleep at night, the last few conscious moments of your day, count your blessings, acknowledge, appreciate, know how good your life is. Sometimes we have to go looking. Sometimes life can be quite a scrape. But take the time. Take the time to know that you are blessed, to know that your life is full of grace, to know that there is much to be grateful for. Thank you so much for joining me. Namaste. The God within me honors the God within you. Blessings.